guys, this week we actually continue attaching the Travelall to the Tahoe. Hey guys, welcome back to AMS. This week we actually are going to build a few more pieces and get this Travelall better attached to the Tahoe floor pan. Last week was a little bit rough on me, but this week we're in a good place. We're going to get started and we're going to actually get some new metal back in between these two. So let's get stuck into it.
Alright guys, so here's that basically finished patch. There's still a little bit here and there that needs to be done, but a lot of it won't actually be done until it's installed. So that's the finished piece there to fix all of the rust all through here. So our next step is just to remove a bunch of that this is going to replace so that we can get in there and worry about the rest of the sill.
Off camera, I went and measured, if you guys can see that black mark that's right there, just how deep I actually want this main section to be. These longer sections where I welded in some extra metal just need to be a little bit deeper. Those are the patches in the corners where the rot just proceeded farther out. Maybe it's not the best way of doing it, but I don't know what I'm doing, so it'll work. So I'm just going to trim this piece back and then we'll go from there. may still need to cut this a little bit shorter, but otherwise, I think this piece is finally ready to go in. So I made a decision. This is the piece that goes under the B-pillar. And it was unmanageable with that piece attached. So I decided to remove it, and it will get added back on at a later point.
So we finished the welding and grinding on this corner patch. Got it all good. It's not perfect. Unfortunately, I did a really bad job seaming. This metal was actually thinner than I realized, so I just had some bad settings and didn't really do a great job there. This is a spot weld, so I'm not as worried about that. I've got 7 spot welds in there, I think. And then this may get welded further up or cut down. I still have to actually finish that corner in. But all of that is spot welded together as well, so that repair is finished in there. Though with it being tucked all the way back in there, I probably didn't even need to bother. Ah, well, what do you do? So, with the front finished, we need to figure out what we're going to do about the back. I think I kind of hosed myself. I would have been better off had I not put this piece back in yet. Had I cut it and made it and then just left it out, then I could have worked in there very easily. But because I did not do that, I have to figure out a workaround, and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. I don't have a great way to remove the section that goes under the B-pillar here. Maybe if I'd done it before installing this panel, maybe if I'd done all this before setting it down on the Tahoe, but that would have been really hard because I couldn't really keep the doors open unless I'd braced the body, but I didn't do that. So now I'm just kind of dealing with the fallout of some decisions I've made. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to drill a couple of spot weld holes along this, and it will go in on top of that existing metal, and I will weld it down to the existing metal. And that is probably going to be the best we can get, and then I may be able to come up from underneath and put a couple of stitches along it as well. So I'm going to attach it as best I can to this chunk of existing rocker, but it's not going to be quite perfect. It's just going to have to be good enough.
So here we have one finished door sill. This is the part that I just built in. This really didn't go all that well. I forgot to drill spot weld holes. Luckily those drilled out pretty easily. I put in this extra piece, but I didn't prime part of it. I overground a little bit here, which is a common problem for me, but in the end it's still decent. I'm sure it looks better on camera than it does in real life. And then we also cut in the shape of the door sill here. It does get a little thin right there, but it'll be fine. And then up here, looking at the same thing. It's a little ugly in that corner. None of this is really all that great. I just didn't do a fantastic job welding that. But it's the front corner of a door frame, so I'm just not going to worry about it too much. I'm not going to stress myself out caring about that. Again, if it's that big a deal, I will fix it with some filler. And then again, we've just cut all of this into its final shape. We're not even going to look at the inside right here because the welds I put on there are so freaking terrible, but they held all the pieces together, which is all I need right now. From there, the piece that's going to fill in this gap is also going to attach to those welds, so I'll have to clean those up and weld it all together completely. Figure out exactly how I'm going to do that. But that's one done door sill. Well guys, that's another week down. We got one door sill totally rebuilt, the full rocker plus those corner panels. Everything on this takes me so much longer than I think it's going to. I am terrible at understanding just how much time anything on this Travelall is actually going to take me. But we're at the end of the week. I'm out of time basically. And so all I got done was the door sill. You know what, you guys? I promised you that this week we would actually weld more of the Tahoe to the Travelall. So give me just a minute. Alright, there we go. We've actually welded the Travelall a little bit more onto the Tahoe, just like I said I was going to do at the beginning of this week. Anyway guys, that's all the time I have for this week. Thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying the shenanigans, please stick around. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. We really do appreciate it. Anyway, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.